I don't think Ghana is for everybody.
There was a lot of pros, a lot of cons. I think we really romanticized Ghana, which is fine, but we had to learn the ins and outs. We had to learn who was our friend, who wasn't.
The year of return, whatever year that was, I didn't know about it until afterwards when our lease was up and we looked at the little funds we had and I was like, you know what, let's go try it.
People from all over the world are flocking to Ghana as the country capitalizes on its Year of Return campaign. 2019 marked 400 years since the first documented slave ship landed in Virginia. Most enslaved Africans were forced to board vessels along Ghana's coast and sail to America.
You can't first time in Africa, and you know I had to run into this guy right here. Akon, let me tell you something. Everybody in America is watching my timeline. Tell all the black folks why they should come to Ghana, Africa, period.
You look like we're just here.
Yeah.
Are you guys ready? Is it okay?
Yeah.
Are
you ready?
I'm ready.
You're like, yes and no. We don't know. We're ready for life. So, okay. That's yeah. My name is Juliana. I am from Texas. I come from a mixed race family, so my mom is white, my dad is Afro-Colombian. I grew up mainly in Texas. I've only been out of the country once.
But my name is Brian. I'm originally from New York, moved around the United States a lot, played a lot of sports, and I'm moving to Ghana.
So we started, it was 3 of us. It was gonna be a team effort and one teammate didn't make it. It put us in a very tight situation to the point where before we left, we were standing in the airport in New York and we were really trying to decide, do we continue with this journey? Do we stay and say, and a lot of family was telling us stay, reassess, regroup, and come back, try again.
To a lot of people that we know, it's very shocking, but to all of us, like, it has a lot of deeper roots. The fact that I'm living somewhere where I'm not supposed to be and trying to make it okay in my head just shows how crazy this is. Like,
we started as 3, so we had bags and luggage and everything packed for 3 of us. We had accommodation for 3 of us. A lot of things set up, even financially, for 3 people. She had a lot of the documents and information and the budget that we were planning to come over here that we all had put together and worked for. We had to figure out right there in the airport before we left how to pay for our COVID test to leave.
Yeah, so we had paid for those things.
We had paid for the Airbnb, the COVID test in New York, the COVID test that you had to take here, the Airbnb when we landed. All that was gone. So we had to call family and figure out how we can pay for all of that and then where we were gonna stay. We got too far to turn around.
Yeah.
It
felt like we wouldn't get the chance again for some reason. It was kind of like a now or never moment. A lot of that did, I think, come from desperation of wanting to be in a place that we felt more free. And seeing him suffer through so many things, through like discrimination, it felt like we were escaping to some degree.
Everything that was promised and suggested was not the case. The school and the people we were affiliated with were not exactly who they said they were. So that did not work out well, but it did not stop us either.
When we made it to the airport, it wasn't finished yet because then we went through the whole, COVID testing thing and trying to somehow find the funds for that because they wouldn't let us out of the airport. We were there for like 8-9 hours. And then when we finally got out of that situation, for me personally, I almost couldn't think. And we stayed at a hotel in Accra for a couple of days.
So this is day 2 in Accra. Everything has been amazing so far. The first 2 days it was super active, but today is Saturday, so it's pretty chill out.
For me, I didn't sleep the whole flight over. So I was awake the whole time, and as soon as we started to fly over Africa, I was like, I need to look out and see, I just want to see. It looked beautiful. I don't know what country we were flying over, which way but I was like, yo, it's beautiful, it's green, I was like, yo, we actually are above Africa right now. It's crazy. This is definitely the most beautiful country in the world.
Everything is so new, but the people here are amazing and beautiful and so happy and peaceful. It's really changing my mindset on a lot of things already.
There were these daily struggles and real struggles that I had never been through in America. What are we gonna eat today? Do we have money to eat today? What's our next move? What kind of work are we gonna do? Because a lot of the plans that we had made before we came over here kind of fell apart when we actually got here. So it was on the spot, now we're planning what to do. So we had to take things day by day. Because there were times where the struggle got so real that if we didn't have someone here helping us, or our families back home helping us when they needed to, we would be in big trouble. We definitely did not do this by ourselves. Mm-hmm. We had help along the way.
Sitting on my bed and thought about the things that I was going to change. I wrote it down and walked away so I could think of what to say.
I'm gonna tell you exactly where I cried. I cried in Abri because it felt so surreal. Then when we went to the Independence Square, I got emotional there because standing on the other side of the Atlantic Ocean, from Florida to North Carolina and New York, then coming over here, hearing about Kwame Nkrumah, and standing in the Independence Square and watching the waves and the water there, it was, to me, it gave me so much hope and peace.
If ever in your mind the doubt starts to make its way, then just call for your...
It is 2:58, 3 o'clock in the morning. All this stuff came in yesterday. And this is a real unboxing video, nothing has been opened at all. Mr. Eric, we still have his phone number somewhere. This man we came across in America said, yeah, I ship stuff to Ghana. So I chased him down for a week. Then he showed up at the door one day, said, I'll take what you have. So I packed the barrels full of sneakers and all types of sports equipment. Shipped them over here. It was 2 months before we left. It took a total of 3-4 months to get here. He said, no, I'll get them there. Don't worry, they'll be there. He put them on a barrel. Next thing, I called and checked a few times, and he was like, no, they're coming. Then he asked us where we were, and he's like, cool, you're at the hotel. My wife will be there with them today. Showed up, and the barrels were there. Everything I'd put in it, nothing was touched. And I was shocked. I was shocked because getting here and realizing that's not always the case. You can ship something and it can be en route for the next...
You can get lost.
Yeah, it can get lost.
So what did we have in the barrels?
So I bought over my whole sneaker collection. I've been collecting sneakers since I could get a job. We gave a lot of sneakers away. We gave a lot of basketballs and soccer balls away. But now, has the idea of charity changed? Yes. Charity is when you see a need you step in and help.
I guess charity changed a little bit in my mind as far as it's not necessarily like material things always, but how you can give your time, your energy, your passion. I was able to do free music classes with kids and give in that way. I wasn't handing them anything, but I was giving them an experience which I was getting something from and they were getting something from. And so I learned that an experience can be just as beautiful and helpful to someone than an item. If one of my American friends told me they wanted to move to Ghana, there was some advice that a few people gave me, which was go there first, explore a little bit, see how you feel, get a vibe, how you like it, make a plan, and then go back, like make the decision after that.
I would tell them to come with somebody that has been here before, somebody that you share the same cultural differences with. That's one of the reasons why I believe this trip was a success, this journey is successful, because I would love to come over here with Black Americans and show them what is and what isn't. The dollar versus the city is great, but you can blow all of your money very quick by not knowing a few small things.
Yeah, that's true.
As an African American, you have to come here and see where you came from. You have to experience the strength that we come from. You have to experience the dark side too. Like, it's not easy coming here and realizing you come from slaves, and some of the people here might have been some of the people that made you become slaves. There were slaves and there were slave masters. There were slave sellers. It's a lot of emotions and feelings you have to go through.
Very intricate.
But you have to do it. You have to do it. Ghana cannot be generalized. There's 16 regions in Ghana, and every region has its pros and cons. It is not what I thought it was, but it is somewhere where you can grow, you can learn emotionally, spiritually. So it's not what I thought it would be, but it is still worth it.
100%. We're having our first child this coming November.
Think about me too, 'cause we're both just babies and I'm growing up with you. We're just the same, but you're still my little one, yeah. You're still my little one.